So this is 1900 hours, I think GMT, 10 minutes before the scheduled time. This is part A of the Baby Angel Geronimo edition of the Khoodeelaar television channel. And Baby Angel Geronimo, of course, is the main witness in chief, the Baby Angel Geronimo. And we shall be visiting, for an update, we shall be visiting the little place called Cornwall, where the criminal George Injustice Eustace has confessed that the liar Eustace himself no longer has to tell lies, because the criminal says that he is no longer a minister, so he can tell the truth. Can you believe this? This is the evil Eustace that was complicit with the campaign of vilification against the baby angel Geronimo. The depraved Defra criminal Christian Middlemiss, and the depraved Defra evil one George Injustice Eustace. They collaborated in the confusion they created in the minds of the public that baby angel Geronimo needed to be treated as if the baby angel Geronimo carried some disease, which baby angel Geronimo never does. Baby angel Geronimo is the world's bestest, most healthy, the healthiest baby angel Geronimo. Never had any infection, never will have any infection. And when he was born, naturally born in New Zealand, his human mom, Leonie Walker, found him particularly endearing and particularly healthy. Baby angel Geronimo has got grandchildren in New Zealand, healthy grandchildren in New Zealand. So for George Injustice Eustace to confess that he no longer has to tell lies because he is not a minister, this actually proves that while he was in the post as minister in the DEFRA, he was lying. And that he was lying because that was the condition for his continuation, perpetuation in that post as Secretary of State DEFRA. George Injustice Eustace is only one of the criminals, depraved liars. He is one of the children of Satan that is now confessing that he has been a liar all along. Injustice Eustace always denied that he was lying, always maintained that he was making up things against baby angel Geronimo. Now we know, in his own words, the liar has said that he doesn't have to lie anymore because he is no longer a minister. Let's check what latest kind of coverage of the evil Injustice Eustace says about his lying and where it is, what platform, outlet it has appeared in. This is the piece on the Guardian website 2 weeks ago when the criminal injustice Eustace spilled, spilled in the House of Commons, confessing that he had been lying. So the Guardian says flagship post Brexit Australia trade deal not actually very good. That is the headline of the confession in the Guardian Online. Now, what is the rest of the story? Former Minister George Eustace tells Commons senior civil servant in charge of negotiations should be replaced. And this is a piece by Rowena Mason, Whitehall editor. And this is Monday, the 14th of November, 2022, 2012 GMT. And we only got the confession of Eustace, not from the Guardian, but from the local paper or the local outlet, Cornwall Live. So here is a picture of the two liars, liar Boris Johnson and the then Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, at Downing Street in 2021, after agreeing the broad terms of a free trade deal. And this reads, the UK's flagship post-Brexit trade deal with Australia is not actually a very good deal. Former Environment Secretary George Eustace has said. In highly critical comments, Eustace called for the resignation of Crawford Faulkner. Crawford Faulkner, the interim permanent secretary for the Department for International Trade, telling the Commons Faulkner resented people who understood technical trade issues better than him. Eustace, a supporter of Brexit, said since leaving his job in September, listen to this carefully, Eustace, no longer had to put a positive gloss on the deal. That is to say, he doesn't have to tell lies anymore. The first step is to recognize that the Australia trade deal is not actually a very good deal for the UK, he told MPs. It wasn't for lack of trying on my part. He says I tried. How the fuck was he snubbed them, overlooked? Indeed, there were things that we achieved. A special agricultural safeguard for years 10 to 15, staged liberalization across the first decade, the protection of British sovereignty in SPS, sanitary and physiosanitary issues. It's no surprise that many of these areas were areas negotiated either exclusively or predominantly by DEFRA on behalf of the UK team. But it has to be said that overall, the truth of the matter, it has to be said that overall, the truth of the matter is that the UK gave away far too much for far too little in return. Fuck the lying bastard. Fuck the lying bastard criminal Eustace Injustice. He is the one who persisted in refusing to to disclose the truth about the DEFRA's knowledge about the actual health of baby angel Geronimo. This criminal is now confessing. Eustace insisted on having always been a huge fan of the British civil service, but added, Crawford Faulkner, who is currently the interim permanent secretary, is not fit for the position, in my experience. This approach always was, his approach always was to internalize Australian demands, often when they were against the UK interests. His advice was invariably to retreat and make fresh concessions. And all the while, he resented people who understood technical issues greater than he did. What the fuck does it mean, you bastard, lying bastard, Eustace, you criminal? You are a liar. You are a liar. He has now done that job for several years. I think it would be a good opportunity for him to move on and to get a different type of negotiation in place. Somebody, negotiator in place, somebody who understands British interests better than I think he has been able to. Eustace said that unless we recognize the failures that the Department for International Trade made during the Australia negotiations, we won't be able to learn the lesson for future negotiations. Now, what about the failures of the other department? The department that this criminal, liar Eustace fronted. So, whatever the blame, whatever the kind of identity of the department, this was a collection of lying departments fronted by liars, serial liars, criminals, and lawbreakers. And so, therefore, the likes of Eustace must be prosecuted for lying, for crimes against the truth, against science, against society. And Eustace must be joined in the kind of list of those being prosecuted by Christian Middlemiss and by Boris Johnson and other criminals who colluded in the conspiracy to lie, tell lies against the baby angel Geronimo, and also the three judges. The three High Court judges should be joined in the list of being prosecuted criminals. So we shall be talking more about baby angel Geronimo, and we have just done the update as seen by the Guardian, posted 14th of November 2022. The point is that everyone who loves baby angel Geronimo has known always known that the criminal Eustace, the criminal Johnson, the criminal Middlemiss, all these criminals and liars have been lying against the perfectly healthy, innocent baby angel Geronimo through their teeth, as have the three lying judges lying against the baby angel Geronimo and against the truth. So we want the liars to be prosecuted. And the first liar to be prosecuted should be Eustace, because he has now confessed in a House of Commons spiel. He has confessed that he no longer has to put a gloss on it. That is to say, he doesn't have to tell lies anymore about the government's policies and practices and activities. He can tell the truth. Now, we say that he must tell the truth about the lies that he has been perpetrating against the baby angel Geronimo. We shall make the demand even more extensive in due course. Let's see where so this is so we've got enlightenment now. with the help of the technical people, we've got the light there and the blurry image is gone. As we said, we shall sort it out by today, which we are pleased to say we have done. Now, on the two Marduk titles, the ones, the scum, which says that Harry's film sabotaged Wilson Kate and bombshell clip time to ruin US tour. Peace means war. Now, how did Harry and Meghan ever manage to brainwash the Palaces, one of the Brenda's Palaces' most notorious racists, Suzanne Hussey? How did they manage to brainwash that racist to torpedo Wilson's and Kate's American tour? She could not have timed it more disastrously for Wilson Kate. I mean, she not only berated Ngozi Fulani, repeatedly berated her, and repeatedly disbelieved her, repeatedly questioned her kind of place of birth, etc. But she also repeatedly disbelieved everything else she said. Now, I mean, it is quite significant to notice that neither Meghan nor Harry could have ever had any contact with this Ngozi Fulani. If they had any contact with her, it could not be more removed from anything to do with Suzanne Hussey. But we don't know even that they had any contact with her, or they had even met Ngozi Fulani at any of these social events. Before the two of them, that is Harry and Meghan, decided to leave the UK and settle in the USA. Assuming that they never met Ngozi Fulani, how is it that they brainwashed Suzanne Hussey to target Ngozi Fulani and to berate her in the way racist way that she did do? It's not race, you moron, Trevor Terrible Phillips. It is racism. Racism and the racist. The racism of the racist, Suzanne Hussey, came across naked racism. How could Meghan or Harry be accused of having done this? They didn't even know. They didn't even know, I don't think, that Camilla was having a party. And there is a kitten, they're saying, looks like Manchester City's footballer, Phil Foden. They're calling him the feline or her. Feline Phil Foden. Let's check what if there is any space for our photography session. We'll see if there is any space. So the question of whether the racist Suzanne Hussey was brainwashed by Harry and Meghan is the issue. Because they never ever mentioned Susan Hussey as the racist who had been one of the racists casting aspersions at Meghan after the royal kind of wedding or whatever. And here this scum is saying racist slur number 2. The Buckingham Palace race row took a twist yesterday when a second guest accused Prince William's godmother of asking him, "Where are you from?" Former CPS chief Nazir Afzal, 60, said, Lady Susan Hussey made the inappropriate inquiry into his background at a reception hosted by Queen Consort Camilla. It came after Lady Hussey, 83, quit her royal role when British-born charity worker Ngozi Fulani accused her of racism. Ngozi, 61, said Lady Hussey asked, "What part of Africa are you from?" Royal aides have since spoken to Ngozi to express regret. Birmingham born Mr. Afzal, meanwhile, had on a Welsh government badge. He said, despite the badge, she asked, "Where are you from?" Quite simply, I said, "Manchester." The palace did not go. Afzal, of course, has a sense of humor. He was born in Birmingham but had a badge representing the Welsh government. He was really being mischievous, wasn't he? But the fact that this is in the Sun makes it even stronger. The kind of evidence that the Sun on the front page is running an anti-Meghan and anti-Harry falsehood on purpose, insinuating that the whole naked racist exposure by Susan Hussey was all along a plot by Harry and Meghan. How could that be? Surely Nazir Afzal is not part of the plot by Harry and Meghan. And Piers Moron, the shameless racist criminal, has got his piece, two-page piece in the scum, having a go at Meghan and Harry. But Piers Moron will not last very long. Because as Suzanne Hussey has shown, all the hidden races are falling on the ground one by one. I mean, Suzanne Hussey, for decades, she has been the member of the household that Brenda Elizabeth II led, the household. So, what is this one? Star's revenge on her ex. Strictly star Helen Skelton has got revenge on her ex hubby by flogging their old belongings on a TV show. The former Blue Peter host, 39, sold off sentimental items during her appearance on Celebrity Yorkshire Auction House. They included as antique what did they include as antique what? They included an antique vaulting horse, which was a wedding present, a Victorian dentist chair, and two Art Deco armaments. What kind of story is that? So this is the thing that everything that happens to the royal family, everything that comes out against them is must be Harry's fault and Meghan's fault. And we shall come back to this in due course. Now going back to Pakistan, and the Hindustan Times has published that Hindustan Times website, I think, has published an item about one of the 1999 Pakistan cricket team's events. The leading player at that time, playing for Pakistan, has spoken for the first time, according to the Hindustan Times, about rare advice and support given to him by Imran Khan. And the Hindustan Times, for the first time in my knowledge, is running very positive piece about Imran Khan. For the first time, Indian newspaper, news outlets don't run positive profiles on Imran Khan, but this time, this one is a very positive one, albeit it's about cricket and about the actual legendary role, legendary standard and status achieved by Imran Khan as a very successful cricketer. This is absolutely significant, and it's a reason. It is for this reason that I have posted on the Khoodeelaar Twitter account a quote or two from the Hindustan Times piece. And we shall be running more items about that particular kind of admission by the particular Pakistan cricket star that pays homage to the generosity of Imran Khan and the rest of it. Now, in the crusade, it's not the crusade actually, it's the kind of long march by the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, I think there is one other kind of goal that has been achieved. I think there are all signs that the appointment of a new army chief in Pakistan has been a victory for Imran Khan and the Tehreek-e-Insaf, because Nawaz Sharif and others were plotting to appoint somebody else. But this one is not somebody that Nawaz Sharif and others will be very happy about a role. But Imran Khan has led the campaign for autonomy, and this is partially a successful victory for the Pakistan neutral Pakistan kind of army establishment. So Imran Khan would be mildly kind of quietly proud about this. And there is also a piece in a Hindustan Times, I think, that refers to Imran Khan sending a message to all Pakistanis, extensively quoting Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Again, this is not something that the Hindustan Times or the Indian, mainly mainstream Indian newspapers or news outlets run, because they don't really want to ever refer to Muhammad Ali Jinnah as anything but bad. But here they are forced to report Jinnah as a source of enlightenment, a source of inspiration, source of leadership and morality and high principles, which is all of which were present in Jinnah's personality. And the fact that why is this thing that is not showing here? We'll deal with a particular kind of issue about the curtains. But back to the Jinnah quotation. The Times of India or Hindustan Times, either way, either the Times of India, Hindustan Times, the Hindu, any of the other English newspapers, they are very uncomfortable when faced with the evidence that Jinnah is really revered in Pakistan and is highly regarded beyond Pakistan as well. So, but they never run anything about Jinnah that shows his real qualities and achievements and character. This time they are forced to talk about M.A. Jinnah in the same kind of time frame that they are mentioning Imran Khan's other political advance. And this is something that is historically to be noted. That not only is Imran Khan beginning to be given much overdue recognition by the Indian media, but Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who is the most hated, loathed figure among the Indian Hindu nationalists, is beginning to be recognized as a true inspiration for the likes of Imran Khan and others. All right. So we shall be coming back to Imran Khan, and there would be other kind of statements by other supporters of Imran Khan and the movement and the long march. Now we go back to Tower Hamlets in the east end of London. And what is happening in Tower Hamlets? In Tower Hamlets, they have got an elected mayor system imposed. Elected mayor in post in Hamlet's council. And the secret of this elected mayor is that it is a very almost fully protected machine for corruption, criminality, breaches of democracy, and all the rest of it. There is a piece in the Guardian in the last few days, I think. Was it today or in the last few days anyway? It is called The Guardian View about the causes of housing crisis in Britain. Now, I remember sitting in the Tower Hamlets Council public gallery, so called, while the so called mayor's cabinet met with Luther Roman chairing the charade. And in the public gallery on the one side of it was this very weird looking man called Dave Hill. Dave Hill was one of the Guardian's liars that lied through every kind of element for Luther Roman. So whatever Luther Roman was spieling in the so-called cabinet meetings, if it had anything to do with the denial of the needs of the people in Tower Hamlets, and if it was suppressing the needs of the people of Tower Hamlets, that Dave Hill would never have anything to do with it. Dave Hill ran in the Guardian a thing called Londoner's Diary or something. But he never actually published any truth about Tower Hamlets. Now, that is to say, the Khoodeelaar campaign is part of the movement for the defense of the community in the east end of London, which created the Khoodeelaar campaign. And the call sign was the Khoodeelaar campaign call sign has been, of course, that they are breaking the democracy in Tower Hamlets. And they should not be allowed to do that. But saying that means that there were and there still are some members of the Labour Party who are opposed to the mayor system, opposed to corruption, opposed to criminality, opposed to lack of accountability. But that is not true. We shall be talking more about all of these issues in due course. Now we have to come to an end with this program, with this edition, which is 45 minutes. Glad that we are enlightened. And this has been possible because we had some technical discussions around why the blur appeared in the previous edition. Despite the fact that there were blurs and the objectively journalistic campaigning Khoodeelaar duty was to report that near fatal disaster at the Crossrail escalator going down yesterday.